行くぞ。はっGenocide Kata!
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and man, did we get some surprises today. Actually, yesterday they released some notes about Leona and Orochi, which I thought were fantastic, and we'll get to talking about these guys, but the first thing we're going to talk about is the New Year's shop and whether or not any of these deals are actually worth it. So this first one here is you pay $40, you can buy 2 of these packs, and you can get the character Orochi, which everybody actually got for free a long time ago, and you can get the character of Leona, and you can also get their memory, as well as some elemental memory selectors for purple and blue, and then you can get these cards. Now, this card is honestly not very good for Orochi because you can actually get his 3 PG from the Epic Quest, and in my opinion, really, I think this deal for $40 just isn't worth it. It just isn't worth it. I mean, unless you're trying to level up Orochi, level up Leona, which I do think are way better than what they were before. I just don't think this thing is worth it. $40 is a good amount of money. And again, a lot of people already have Orochi. Maybe you might not have Leona, but if you've been playing this game for some time, there's a good chance you might have her. If you don't have her and you want to get her, I mean, I guess this would be the way to go. But $40, I just don't think it's worth it. Personally, guys, I don't. Then we have this deal here for $17 in my currency, American currency. And you'll be able to get 600 rubies the first day, and then for the next 7 days you get 200 rubies a day, and then you'll get 5 elite hammers every day, which is a total of 35 elite hammers and a total of 2,000 rubies. Now, when you're looking at the cost to reward ratio, as far as, or actually the ruby per dollar ratio, this here is about 117 rubies per dollar. In all honesty, guys, I mean, you do get the 35 elite hammers. It's one of them deals where it's not a real expensive thing, but I don't really think it's worth it. I think it's just a little bit pricey. If this would have been $10, really for the New Year's, I thought we'd have a little bit better deals. If this had been for about $10, I'd been like, man, this is a pretty good deal. But $17, and I know it's, $7 more, it's not a lot, but it's just 117 rubies per dollar. You do get the 35 elite hammers. It's okay. It's okay. I don't think it's a good deal by any means. Then we have this other one here where you get 1,600 rubies. You'll get 300 capsules that you can select, which this is actually really nice. And then you can choose a memory for any fest character, which is fantastic. And then you can also choose the elemental memories, 2 of them. Well, these here aren't very valuable to me because you can actually just combine memories and get these. So when I see these and these deals, unless they offer a crap load of them, I don't really think it's that relevant. And honestly, guys, for $40, I don't think this is worth it. For a memory, 1,600 rubies, I mean, the capsules are nice, but I just don't think it's worth it. It's a lot of money, honestly, for what you're getting. It's not very good. I don't like it. Unless you're the whaliest of whales and you want to go out and buy this, I wouldn't do it. Then we have these other 2 deals. So we got the first one here, which is, 4,270 rubies, and then you're going to get some tokens. Now, these tokens are worth rubies. The thing, though, you have to remember is that they're not for collab characters. And right now, we don't have a collaboration, but a lot of people save the rubies for collab characters because, well, they just prove to be extremely valuable and overpowered as hell. And these tokens are good for our normal fest characters. Maybe you'll get lucky, get a memory, but they're not, or maybe get a card, get a fest card. But they're not going to help you in that pursuit of your collaboration characters. So if you're saving for collaboration character, I probably wouldn't buy this. This here, when you take in the amount of rubies it costs to get these 5 summon tokens and these 5 card summon tokens, you're looking at 147 rubies per dollar. That's what you're getting. You're getting 147 rubies per dollar. Again, though, these tokens are only good for the KF All-Star Summon, the United Summons, and for some people that's going to be good. For someone like me, it's definitely not good. I don't really need to do summons there, and I think a lot of people might be just waiting for the next collab, which might come at the end of February, beginning of March, somewhere around there. I'm not really sure. Don't quote me on that. but I think so. I don't think it's worth it. I think it's a pretty freaking expensive deal, to be perfectly honest. Then we have this one here. Guys, don't buy this. I mean, they do have the OP stones in here, right? That were originally in that KOF pass, where you get the double attack and you get the dot effect of your choice for whatever character you need. So here we got burn, right? Well, we could choose, we could choose darkness. We'll click on this. You can choose darkness, right? And so on and so on. So, I mean, well, actually, they just got darkness and burn in here. Yeah, okay. And we know the dot effects stack, but I don't think this is worth it. I mean, they do have shock and chill here. You got bleed and poison here. I don't think it's worth it. Personally, I would not spend $80 on this. No way would I do this. But what I would consider doing is this New Year's Ruby shop. And this is very interesting what they've done here. So you can spend 2,021 rubies and you can actually choose between a fest card, which is dope. Now, a while back, they actually gave us a free Leah card selector. And those of you that might have saved your selector if you couldn't use it yet, that's kind of like what I did, because I had 3 of these, and 4 of these. I needed one more of one of these, and then I could use that selector, right? Well, now I can actually spend a little over 2,000 rubies, which I do think is well worth it for one card. If you have the rubies to spend, I think this is actually well worth it if you need one of these cards. So this is actually a really good deal. I mean, 2,000 rubies for the card you want, not bad at all. It's a guarantee of what you're going to get. This other one is not worth it. Do not do this. Don't spend your rubies on these stupid elemental memories. Don't do it. You can actually farm for those, grind out the memories, get them from elemental event. Don't do this at all. And by the way, if any of you really are thinking about spending money in the game, in this subscription here, this deal right here, you can actually get 1,200 rubies, and then you can get 100 rubies a day for 27 days. That's 2,700 rubies plus 1,200 is 3,900 rubies. Plus you get 100 rubies. That's 4,000 rubies plus a fest selector to choose a fest memory of your choice, which is fantastic. This is 133 rubies per dollar. It is really a pretty damn good deal because you're actually getting a fest selector. The only bad thing about this is you have to wait 28 days before you get the fest selector. But still, for your money, if you're going to spend money, and this would really be the way to go in my opinion, because I think this is a pretty fair deal, pretty decent deal. I used to buy these quite a bit. Now on to the next topic. So we also have the new 2000 Kazumi roulette, which is pretty cool. They actually put her in the summons as well. Make sure you're doing these ads every day so you get your tickets. But Kazumi is a red balanced fighter. She increases red element fighter attack by 25% and burn damage by 40%. This could be a useful leadership in some situations. Maybe even useful against the guild raid. I mean, honestly, when I play guild raid, I just put in an OP leadership, but I'm using Lovely Alice, who offers 65% damage to red element fighters, which would probably be better than this. I don't know. It'd have to be tested, but we'll see. Then her core effects. I mean, she does have the power charge rate gain. She's got the increased damage by 24% of critical hit. Well, that's really nice for extra damage. She deals an additional burn damage equal to 150% of attack upon landing a hit if the target's HP is 60% or less. So they got to get below 60% HP before this can take effect on a 10-second cooldown. That's a lot of damage, honestly. And then she increases penetration by 400 for 15 seconds upon an ultimate move. Shame that isn't more. Then as far as her skills, it's pretty plain Jane, honestly. You got the decreased target defense by 20%. Just some damage text here. This is good upon landing a skill, but it's not. I mean, it's good because you're weakening them. You'll be able to do more damage. And then she deals burn on her third skill, which is really nice. But there's no super armor, there's no hyper armor. But she does have a nice striker ability. Active team members obtain 10% power. This can actually be a really good striker bonus. Kazumi, I really don't think is going to do anything except maybe be a leadership, maybe a decent striker, honestly, for most players. But hopefully y'all will get her for free, and maybe we can do a little testing with her in the future. And she does have a 3PG card, by the way, as well, that will work for her. Then we have the New Year's Dice game. Now, I'm a little salty about this one because they did what they did in the last Dice event. We don't get Dice every day. It used to be where we get Dice every single day when we'd log in for the event, but Now we don't get them. The only way to get dice now is to, and before we go on to another page, it is a nice dice event. I mean, you got the summon tickets, you're going to get some rubies, you got the soul tokens. It's a nice event, but you're going to run into the same problem that we had the last time, and that is you're going to need to get the dice. Well, how do you get the dice? Well, we have a world drop event going on right now, and you can actually make memories for Kazumi and Athena, which is cool. But we have a world drop event where you can actually get the dice. So these boxes here actually will allow us to get dice. So you're going to have to farm for these resources in order to get these boxes to get the dice. And I think that sucks because I'd rather use all of these resources for these boxes to get rubies or to get souls. That would be way better. So I really wish they'd go back to the way it was before, but I guess it is what it is. You guys know how they do it. You know, we got to make that money, I guess. But I don't think it'd been a big deal if they would have just let us be able to collect dice just through the events as just doing our normal dailies instead of having to craft for these things. Now, where to get all of these resources? Well, all you got to do is click on this little thing right here, and it shows you where to get them. Obtain the AS in the Soul Quest. Obtain the letters KOF in the story, 9499. Obtain the letters, and so on and so on. All you got to do is click on that thing, and it tells you exactly where to get all of your letters. If you need more help with this, just let me know in the comments, and I'll try to provide a video for it. I've done videos in the past about it. Honestly, it's really not that difficult if you just click on there and look and see where you can get all of these resources. Then we have some buffed characters. We're just going to go into championship here. Okay, and I already have Orochi and Leona in here. So we'll talk about Orochi first. So what did they do for Orochi? Well, they did actually a hell of a lot for him. So what they've done is they actually changed the amount of damage that he's doing. So originally, this was 589%. Now it's 753. This was 684. Now it is, it was 535. Now it's 684. And this was 533%. And now it's 701. So they bumped up all of his damage. But not only did they do that, but they also gave him a 100% chance to break the target's guard upon landing a skill, which means no matter where you're at in the screen, when he does the second skill, he can break your guard. And this is much better than what it was before, because before you had to be up close to Orochi for you to break their guard. If they were from a distance, they could just guard it. Now they can't. They will break their guard, which is nice. And it ignores the target's guard and disables their guard for 4 seconds. So you're going to disable the guard. They won't be able to guard against any other attack, which is nice. The only way they can avoid your attacks is by dodging. And then on the third skill, what they did was he always had hyper armor, but they gave him a 50% chance to reset cooldowns upon a successful attack on a 17-second cooldown. Now, when I read this, I see cooldowns, which means plural. That means more than one. But as you guys will see in the skill preview, it is not. It's just for the hyper armor skill, which is kind of a bummer. I was kind of hoping it'd be like BS Orochi, where you hit the third skill and can reset all the skills, but I guess they felt like that would be too OP compared to BS Orochi. I'm not really sure. It's still really damn good because it's his hyper armor skill. Oh yeah, by the way, real quickly here, they also dropped his cooldowns. This was 14 seconds before, 14.1. Now it's 10.9. This was 12.8. Now it's 10.7. And this was 13.1 and now 10 seconds. So they did what we asked them to do. They dropped the cooldowns. They gave him a reset on his hyper armor skill. They gave him a 100% chance to ignore guard from any distance on the second skill and disable the guard, right? And they also gave him this increased active skill damage dealt to burned enemies by 50%. So more damage, which is nuts. Oh, that is nuts. Oh. And Orochi was, I mean, he wasn't a top tier character by any means before, but a lot of people when they played him, they'd always dodge and run around and stall the timer because you could just increase power by 1.6 seconds every 1 second when it is hit 40% or less. And then he had the crazy heal as well when his power was 41% or more. So he's going to be way better. He's going to be absolutely a freaking monster, to be perfectly honest. And I want to show you guys something really quick. So just to let you know how much stronger he is now compared to what he was before, is I'm going to show you guys a little something. So I did a run before we got this actual update, and I just ran through the 3 skills. I just did the 3, 2, and the 1 in that order, and I was able to get, I'll put the screenshot up in the screen there, 294,000, almost 295,000. Now watch this. Now look at the damage. 415, 422. So and this is with the same card set, guys. I'm using a Noah set, doesn't really matter. I used the same card set for both of them. And when I did this run before, I got 294 or 295,000. And now this guy is doing, look at this. He's doing way more than 429,000 compared to 294,000 before. So he's doing way more damage than what he did before. He's way stronger, lowered cooldowns, the reset on the hyper armor. I mean, he's just so much better than what he was before. And then Leona. What did they do for Leona? Well, they actually did quite a bit for Leona. This was a complete shock, no pun intended, to all of us. This was amazing that they did this. And now I really want to level her up big time, because I think she's going to be useful in certain game modes now. She's just going to be so much better. But what they did was, she always had the super armor and the 100% chance to ignore guard here. But they gave her a decreased damage received by 70% for 4 seconds. This is new. So now she's going to be a lot tankier. She is a balanced type fighter. And honestly, guys, there's a lot of characters that have this decreased damage received, and it really does make them a lot better. And this is for 4 seconds, which is nice. That's nice. No immunity, but still that really helps her survivability. And on the second skill, they gave her this PvP exclusive. Target cannot activate buffs from active skills for 4 seconds upon landing a skill. They also gave her this increased power charge rate by 70%. This is like freaking Nest Keo's second skill. So now she's going to be able to increase her power gain, something fierce doing this damn skill, and she's going to decrease the enemy's power charge rate by 70%. So she got the decreased damage received. She got this amazing increased power charge rate by 70%. This is freaking nuts, especially for a character that can only use a 5 PG card. And she can decrease the power charge rate, and then she has this PvP exclusive. She's going to be way better, guys. But it gets even better than that. If you go into her core effects, and this is nuts. I can't believe they did this. I'm so happy. But she always had this heal, but now they gave her shock explosion. And this isn't no little one. This is deal 3 times of the target's remaining shock damage, and then remove the shock effect upon landing a critical hit. 3 times. There might be more, but the only character I can think of off the top of my head that has this kind of shock damage explosion is Geese Howard. Most characters with shock explosion have deal 2 times, and she's got deal 3 times. Her shock damage is going to be crazy. Her shock damage explosion is going to be absolutely freaking bonkers. It's going to, guys, she's going to have so much more damage. She's going to feel like a Orochi Leona. So we're going to do the same thing like we did with Orochi. I'll put up a screenshot of the damage she did with the same card set that I have on her currently before we had this update. And she did 479,000, just doing the 3rd skill, the 2nd skill, and the 1st skill, and that's it. So we'll do the same thing. We'll see how much damage she does now with the same card set. Now look at that, guys. 594,000. So she did over 120,000 more damage than what she did before. So Orochi Leona and Orochi both are insanely stronger than what they were before, which is fantastic. It's just, oh man, I love it so much. I love it so much. And one more thing I need to touch on for Leona that I almost forgot to mention is they also gave her super armor on her last skill. She didn't have this before. She always had the attack, she always had the crit rate, but she didn't have this super armor. So now she's got super armor on multiple skills, She has a decreased damage received on one skill. This is actually a lot like Shane, actually. Kind of set up the same way, reminiscent of it. And this is fantastic. This is absolutely fantastic what they did, and what a just amazing surprise that they did, Leona. I'm so happy that they buffed Orochi because we really didn't know if they were going to buff him or not, especially since we got BS Orochi, and they did. And they gave him very significant buffs. We'll have to see how it plays out in Championship. And by the way, guys, just to show you a little something, I mentioned earlier that third skill, I thought it would reset all the skills. Watch this. We'll hit the first skill, we'll hit the second skill, and now we'll hit the third skill. Look, the third skill is the only one that shows back up. Now we're on a 17-second cooldown, but the third skill is the only one that resets. So I just wanted to confirm that for all of you in this preview, which is still good. I mean, you're resetting your hyper armor skill. That's still really damn good and way better than it was before. I wish they would have gave him an interrupt skill. That would have been really nice. I wish they'd made that third skill into an interrupt skill. But again, maybe they didn't want to make him as overpowered as BS Orochi. But still, he is going to be way stronger than what he was before. The same with Leona. That's the only thing about these two characters I wish they would have done, is give them an interrupt skill. That would have put them just a little bit more over the top. But honestly, I think they're going to be damn insane just the way they are. So I'm really happy with the update. Other than the dice crap, you know, where we have to craft dice, that really sucks. That's the only thing I really don't care for. But everything else is pretty damn awesome. So let me know how you're all feeling about this update. Let me know how you're feeling about Leona and Orochi, the dice game, the roulettes, the world drop event. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.